I implore you, turn off your podcast machine. Avert your eyes and ears for the next 200 years. We accidentally recorded our garbage and put it on the internet, and now it's beaming into your homes. Once the podcast begins, it grows hungry for bad acting, gay panic, and 80s metal stereotypes. Heed my warning. You will get a fright, 'cause it's horror movie night. And we're discussing Terrorvision.
That was fantastic.
Thank you.
See, I sent these to him last night so he would have time to practice them.
And also, with the other one, it tells me exactly the voice that I'm supposed to do. Terrorvision, picked by Scott.
As an apology to you guys for all the shit that I've picked that you hated.
Dude, this was so much. I love this movie so much. It's not a good movie. It never will be a good movie, but it is a fun movie.
Right. I don't think that it ever is trying to be a good movie. That's the whole point, you know?
Yeah, I mean, when the movie starts off with the closest to a B-52's ripoff song you could ever record, you know that you're in for a good time. I want to tell a quick story. So I was at my friend's house watching UFC, but I was like getting messages on my phone, and I saw that Adam had messaged me the intro for next week's movie, and then I got this message, and it just said, Terrorvision, so cheesy. Holy fuck, it's beef. I'll watch anything with beef. Oh no, her boyfriend's a punk. And I said, is that the write-up? And he said, whoops, I meant to send that to myself as my notes.
Yeah, so there's one part of this movie that I'm very excited about.
I know that there's one part of this movie that Matt is very excited about too, and it has everything to do with the chick from Better Off Dead.
Oh my god, yeah.
She's super cute. She's cute as a button.
Yeah. So this movie opens up with an alien just like shooting another alien out into outer space, immediately making me think of Night of the Creeps.
Yep.
And it does this really like weird cartoon of just this beam of light just bouncing and ricocheting off of planets.
It's very Looney Tunes.
Yeah. This movie is like 14 different things just smashed into one film.
But it works.
It does. So we cut to the star of the movie is like the ultimate stereotype of an 80s family. They're getting their satellite TV, grandpa's from the war, the kid loves violence, the daughter's a punk rocker, the parents are creepy swingers, like everything that you expect from the 80s is there. But my favorite thing is that the daughter and her boyfriend OD. Have you ever seen that commercial for Punk? And it's like
yes,
like they look like like I almost want to track down that ad to see if it's actually them because they look so much like them.
It definitely is not, but you could if they're not purposely aping Terrorvision, then I don't know what they're fucking doing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you know what I really hate is, normal people music. I love punk music. Yeah. And then it cuts right to, oh, Mickey, you're so fine.
Or like,
what the fuck are you talking about?
My favorite one was like, my favorite like cut in that commercial, because I've watched that commercial so many times, is he's like, you know what I'm really sick of is when I buy all these albums and there's only one or two good songs. What is it going to do for me, a punk rocker? But now it's got all my favorite hits. And then immediately it's like, who could it be now?
It's a fucking new wave CD.
Called Punk. Oh, it's so good. It's
the best part about this day already is the fact that we're discussing the punk compilation that you love instead of Terrorvision. Like, that's just pretty much exactly what I was expecting to have happen.
As much as I enjoy Terrorvision, there's 10 minutes worth of material here because fucking nothing happens.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, and that's, okay, so this is only the second time I've ever watched this movie. But like I said, I did this as an apology because I knew that you guys would at least have fun watching it, and Beef is in it, so it worked out. I was like not looking forward to watching this film. I'm like, ugh. I thought the exact same thing as you. It was like, you know what? Nothing fucking happens in this movie, but it's still. I mean, it's a lot of fun to get there. I mean, I like the fact that I knew the ending already because it felt like it went faster this time.
Yeah.
But I definitely fast forwarded a little bit of the kid in the bunker talking to Medusa because that woman sucks so hard. But like this movie is such a pastiche. Like everything's pastiche in this movie. It's like it's not meta because I don't think that meta horror was a thing in 1986, but it's as close to that as you're going to get from that time period, I think, because the mom and dad are, as you said, they're kind of a send up of like square parents trying to be cool, but also like real perverse, sexually perverse parents. The kind of the conspicuous consumption of the 80s where it's like, you have to have the big satellite dish. You have to do your aerobics where everybody can watch, and stuff like that. You have to stay in shape, and it's spend your money as fast as possible to show people that you have it. And then the daughter looks just like every music video from the 80s, which is so cool. Like look, I looked at her and I actually took a note, and I was like, man, this girl looks just like Hayley Williams from Paramore, but 25 years early. Because her eye makeup is just like Paramore from, what was it, 2008?
Like their early years when they first started to like be a thing.
Yeah, the Riot album. I think that was 2007 or 2008 when that came out. And I mean, I love Hayley Williams. I think that she's fantastic, and I love that she and Chad from Newfound Glory are such a great couple because Chad was married to Sherry from Isley, and then she was a piece of shit, and she and Max Bemis from Say Anything are married now, and I hate Max Bemis, so they can go and be shitty together, and I don't care. But now that Chad has someone that is awesome, it's just fantastic. So, I guess I got off on a tangent about something that doesn't have anything to do with this movie, but that's kind of what I think that you guys want. So,
well, you're talking about a lot of music that I don't recognize. Like, I listen to punk music, like the Talking Heads.
Oh.
And
I was about to make a Talking Heads reference because I feel like this entire movie is essentially just like the lyrics of a Talking Heads song just done as a film.
Pretty much. We're steamrolling past probably the most important part of this whole podcast. You know who the executive producer of this film was?
Who?
Charles fucking Band.
Oh shit, son!
And he also has like his brother that did the music supervision, and a bunch of bands, like people with the last name Band, are in the intro credits, which just made me laugh so heartily as I was watching this yesterday, taking notes.
But yeah, the thing that Adam brought up that we really haven't talked about since is Beef. Beef plays the father. Phantom of the Paradise's Beef plays the father in this movie. He's such a douchebag. I know that we declared that the parents in Dolls are the worst parents in horror film history, but the parents in Terrorvision are pretty close second.
Yeah, well, I have a note later on where it's just like Sherman is being crazy, and it's like let's just give him a pill or something. Like she's like, oh, he just needs a pill. So yeah, they're pretty bad parents.
She's like screaming when she's screaming at him and locks him in the bunker. It's like, if you're too much of a pussy to sleep by yourself, then you'll have to sleep in the bunker with Grandpa.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, Mom. Jesus.
Do not get between a mother and sexy time.
Yeah, that's like the weird thing about this movie, though, is like kind of like Dolls, not exactly like Dolls, but kind of like Dolls. It's in general fairly lighthearted of a movie. Like it's
but everybody dies.
Everybody dies, and in like kind of really gross ways. Like Grandpa's death is kind of fucking gross, and he's like one of the only nice people in the movie.
Yeah.
There is 6 people dead before we hit the half-hour mark.
But the thing is that they all happen within about a 10-minute period.
Yeah.
Or maybe a 5-minute period. Like, the Hungry Beast just goes after everyone.
I mean, this movie's really two to three parts. Like, part one is like introducing all the characters and then immediately killing all but 3 of them.
And then those 3 characters last a long ass time, and it's real zany because they're like teaching the Hungry Beast words and
That's
names.
what I mean. Like part 2 is like a completely different movie. Like part 2 is like E.T. Like it suddenly turns into E.T. where it's
OD makes an ET joke.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at least they are reticent to the fact that they are kind of doing 3 things here.
But yeah, like they just straight up like tone completely changes, and now it's about like kids and their alien friend. And then part 3 is like alien friend turns on them.
Well, there was a good chunk of the movie that I'm like, why are they being so nice to this alien? Like, are they not aware that he killed their parents? And then I realized, like, no, they didn't realize that their parents are dead. I guess the whole time they've been doing this, they assume that their parents are having an orgy with 2 random people and their grandfather in the other room. I was like, oh, gross.
Yeah, this movie has so many questions to be answered.
What's a worse scenario, that your parents were eaten by an alien, or that they're so fucking weird that that's like the acceptable thing, that you're like, they're probably just having an orgy with grandpa?
Okay, this is going to bring us to a dead stop, and we'll just skip right over this if we don't want to do it. But I have a would you rather for you guys.
Okay.
No, yes, yeah, absolutely. Would you rather? Let's do it.
Okay. So your mom and your girlfriend, they like Freaky Friday switch bodies, okay? And the only way to reverse that process is to have sex with one of them. Do you have sex with your mom's brain and your girlfriend's body, or your girlfriend's brain and your mom's body?
Oh.
Dude, this is the worst. I can't answer that. Because one of them ruins you, and one of them ruins your mom. Like, well, they ruin you kind of both ways. But like, if you're having sex with your mom and your girlfriend's body, that kind of ruins your mom, because your mom's like, wow, I just had sex with my son. To you, you could kind of be like, yeah, I just had sex with my girlfriend. But if you have sex with your girlfriend in your mom's body, it's just like, I was.
This is an important question. I'm gonna question: do you have to be looking at them while it's happening?
I don't think that, Matt. I know it's been a little bit.
It's been a little bit, but listen, I'm shutting off the lights. I'm closing my eyes. I'm doing my mom, like with girlfriend's brain.
I gotta put in my punk CD to set the mood. It's gonna be like, "Don't you want me, baby?"
that punk hit by Human League.
So I think that the biggest issue here is that Matt has totally forgotten what having sex is like. If you turn the lights off, yes, I guess you could pretend like you don't know who you're inside, but.
There's no proper answer. Suicide is the only answer.
Adam, is that what your answer was?
Well, I'm just like, I'm not having sex with either of you. Fuck you. That's it. I'm out. Peace. I don't have a mom or a girlfriend anymore.
I was about to say, what's the ultimatum here? Like, what would happen if you don't have sex with either one? Is it just like the world ends? Is it your girlfriend breaks up with you, or?
I guess your mom gets like an extra 30 years of life, and your girlfriend dies 30 years too early, I guess.
Oh, wait. So it's a Freaky Friday, but there's no takesy backsies.
Exactly.
Short of the sex.
Backsies is the sexual scenario where you have to have sex with one of them to switch it out.
Does mom have any terminal illnesses?
Well, no, but she's definitely 30 years older than the girlfriend. I mean, you're sucking 30 years of life out of your girlfriend, right?
I just sucked 3 years of your life away. Tell me, how does that feel? Interesting. Yeah, Adam, you are one dark person for even asking that. But let's get to some of the just one-off quotes that this movie is great with. Holy Tomato is a great punchline for beef, because who doesn't love tomatoes on top of beef? I'm like I said, this is only the second time I've ever watched this film, and I see they're standing in the foyer, and I'm like, is there water flowing out of that statue's nipples? And then you see it about 5 minutes later, and yep, there's water flowing out of that statue's nipples. And that automatically reminded me that the parents are weird pervy people. There's a weird thing going on with Heineken in this film, where the neighbor that is really familiar. I didn't get a chance to look him up on IMDb, but I didn't even actually catch his name, so I wasn't about to go digging for it. But that guy looks super familiar. But he comes over and Beef is like, this thing's broken. It's supposed to have a warranty. And he's like, well, warranty only recovers repairs. And he's like, and he's like, he drinks the Heineken, and while he's watching the mom work out, and then he's like, hey, can I have another Heine if I'm hanging out? And then Beef is like, hey, if you're gonna guzzle my Heine, then you have to help me. And I'm like, that's a little too on the nose. I get it. Sex jokes, I get it. But then later on, Medusa is done with her show, and she's drinking a Heineken. Like, very obviously holding a Heineken bottle. And so I feel like Charles Band was just like, guys, I got it. We're going to fund this film, which is way higher budget than 99% of the shit that I churn out right now. How can we do that? Maybe beer sponsorship.
Yeah, a little product placement, a little early age product placement back there, yeah.
I don't know.
All I know is that Elvira Ripoff has one of the most obnoxious voices I've ever heard.
I don't think fucking Duke would even want to be with her.
Actually,
No.
This movie has a lot of annoying voices because the one swinger girl is pretty
She's
bad.
got a Jersey accent every third sentence, which I made a note. I was like, her Jersey accent sucks. And Jersey accents are so easy. Adam can even do them.
Yeah, even me. Well, come on, I'm the king of impressions here, so I don't know what you're talking about. But it's like
Here I thought you were the king of cartoons.
It's like the reason she's losing her accent is because in between takes she's huffing helium and then it's slowly fading away from her. So she's like,
I don't think that's the helium that's fading away. I think that's the fucking coke. Man, her nose looked like it was about to fall off.
was it just Heinies and blow all day long on this set?
That's pretty much how most of the stuff we talk about was made.
I was going to say, I feel like that's the MO of a Charles Band movie.
Yeah. What's the best excuse to do as much blow as possible? Nose candy. But OD is the worst metalhead ever. I actually wrote down that he was a punk at first. But then I remember that he's like, oh, kid, you like metal? Kiss the boot. And the kid's like, kiss the ass. And he like shoves his, I think it's a fake gun at that point, into his dick. Into OD's dick. And I was just, the problem is that it's only 2 weeks since we watched Return of the Living Dead, and no 80s punker is more intimidating or awesome or has a better name than Suicide.
This is true.
From Return of the Living Dead. So this guy, also the guy that they picked is wearing the shittiest wig.
Well, wait, do you know who that guy is?
He's really familiar, but I didn't look him up.
He is the Wolfman from Monster Squad.
What? No.
Yep.
The guy that plays OD?
Yep. Wolfman from Monster Squad just wearing a big-ass black wig to cover up the fact that he's bald as shit. That is Uncle fucking Rico from Napoleon Dynamite right there playing
Oh my
OD.
God. What?
Wow, I didn't know that. This is not like a Johnny Depp scenario. Scott. Don't worry, I had no fucking idea either.
Well,
Yeah.
are you
After he fought that alien, he tried to throw a football over them mountains in the background. No, I'm dead serious. The guy OD is the actor who played Uncle Rico in Napoleon Dynamite.
I'm gonna get on IMDb and look up Uncle Rico because I need to see what else this dude has been in.
While you're doing that,
I've got it all pulled up for you.
The Medusa horror host is so overtly
Elvira, yeah.
perverted and well, she's an Elvira ripoff, but she's so like overly sexual, and I felt like she was on like the Penthouse channel, like they were getting this satellite beamed in, like unscrambled porn channels. Like she was about to introduce like Evil Head or something like that.
I think that she was just straight making fun of Elvira, but I have a note later on that says there's some really disturbing crease situation going on the armpit area of her breasts, and they were just like, I felt so bad for her breasts. I think I felt more sadness and empathy for the pain that she must have been in that shit costume than anyone else's character in this film. Everybody else, I'm pretty much okay with them dying, except for maybe Sherman. But yeah, her boobs were the saddest character in this whole movie.
Back in the 80s, they were still figuring boob jobs out, man. They hadn't got it down to an art yet.
Well, no, she already had gigantic breasts. It's just that the slope of them, the natural slope, was not what that costume made it out to be, and so they were like pushed up a good 2 inches higher than they should have naturally been, and she looked like I mean, that looked painful to me, but that's just me. So we need to talk a little bit about the monster booger budget, like the slime budget for this movie, must have been the vast majority of what this production cost.
Yeah. That gack that they were just throwing in people's faces over and over again.
Yeah, and then they just... I think that Spiro is onto something when he gets into the hot tub and he's like, what is this? Some kind of sex lube? And he like grabs a handful of it. I'm almost positive that they filled that pool up and did that scene first. They bought like 10 drums of that shit on whatever the 80s equivalent of Amazon would have been. And then they just scooped it out of the pool and colored it different colors with like food dye in order to do all the deaths, like everybody's death where the Hungry Beast like turned them into juice,
yeah,
into
it was
slime.
Just a whole lot of fucking petroleum jelly dyed different colors.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Side note, because I did look at OD's IMDb page, and I find it interesting that for Monster Squad, they don't list him as Wolfman. His character is listed as Desperate Man.
Yes, that's why I went to the Monster Squad IMDb and I couldn't find him because I was like, there's no Wolfman. There's Sure, and there's the Dracula, the Draculas and the
creatures from the Black Lagoons,
creatures, and the mummies. Anyway, yeah, like they I don't know why the Desperate Man. Like, do we know that? Is that a thing, or is that just?
I guess because the only time that you really see him, it's always him desperately trying to get killed.
Yeah, kill me. Or what's he's like grabs the cop's gun. Does he say shoot me or something?
Yeah, but the bullets weren't silver bullets, so he comes
I was about to say
back
those bullets wouldn't have done shit.
Yeah. He comes back and kills the guy that's driving the morgue bus or whatever.
Now, wouldn't that guy have been turned into a werewolf?
Well, I think it depends on if he murdered him or not. If he's straight up dead, then no. But if he lives, then he becomes a werewolf.
I feel like this conversation is better suited for when we absolutely one day do Monster Squad.
That might have to be like episode 100. We just build our way up to Monster Squad for the big old 100.
You know what I think that episode would be is just you cutting together all the times we talk about Monster Squad within the next 50 episodes or 48 episodes, because we've talked about it a significant amount. Or
we've talked about it enough that we could do just a mashup episode of just Monster Squad talk.
But I have no qualms with doing Monster Squad multiple times. I will do Monster Squad all night long.
Me either. I don't have an issue with that, but we really need to hurry up and fucking do Bud the Chud, because you know who plays Bud in that movie. Beef.
You know, I love you guys, but I don't love you enough to sacrifice another pick for Chud 2. Plus, a little man behind the curtain, we know a certain boss man who has a pick that would work perfectly with Horror Movie Night doing Bud the Chud, but we'd have to do it first. Jonathan London.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some words with him at San Diego Comic-Con at booth 3919 this weekend. But yeah, no. Hopefully, we'll get to do the pick that Jonathan London. I looked back. John submitted. So to reveal a little bit behind the curtains, John asked us if we would do an episode on Chud with him as the guest, literally before the Wolf Cop episode came out. So it's been
that was supposed to be That was supposed to be like the third episode, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
so it's been almost 50 episodes of John rescheduling when he's going to be on this podcast. But
And
we've all watched it, and none of us want to rewatch. I still have my notes from
I have notes
moments-
too. I'm not rewatching it.
and every week I'm like, okay, so what's up on the schedule coming up? And we're like, oh, this, maybe Chud 2. Who fucking knows? This.
Well, no. It's maybe Chud 1.
It's Chud 1. We still... Did you watch Chud 2? Is this going to be
Oh,
like a
no.
Leprechaun situation?
I watch the movies like hours before we record, so I didn't
Sometimes
watch
he's
Chud
finishing
or
them.
Chud 2.
That's
Yeah,
true.
sometimes he's finishing them as we're trying to Skype together our call.
Dolls.
But yeah, so we can kind of speed through this.
Well,
so
I have a couple of notes, and it'll run us through all the way to the end of the movie.
let's do it then.
Okay. So
Wait,
I wanna-
can I pop in my notes where yours where they come next to yours?
All right. Well, where I'm at is the.
I
second
always
time,
come next to you.
Where I'm at is the second time that they call Medusa.
Okay.
And
So we're missing one thing.
Okay, go ahead.
The Sherman is too neurotic to be in movies, but being a soldier is great because you get to rape and pillage and murder people. That line is real out there. I don't know. But yeah, there's that, and then you're also missing when Beef decides that he's not okay with gay people, which is ironic.
It's so strange because he seems so flamboyantly gay in everything he's in.
Yeah, I can't wait until we do Chud 2. You guys just gave me the biggest Chud on ever.
Yeah, you got itty bitty chuds for us.
Are you saying that you're butting a chud right now?
Well, episode 100, best of.
What's weird is the line that Spiro says to the wife, where he's like, "Oh no, you don't understand. I'm Greek," and she's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "No, but I love Greek culture," and she's like, "Yeah," he's like, that means I like to fuck men." I'm like, what? Where is this coming?
Yeah, also, I feel like that joke kind of missed the mark, and it could have been so much funnier if he's like, I like boys, and he should have been like, what about Sherman? I actually have a note like, why isn't he trying to get with Sherman if he's Greek? If he's trying to go Greco-Roman style.
Shh, guys, quiet. That's the sound of every Greek listener unsubscribing to the podcast at this moment.
Hey, listen, don't be mad at us. Be mad at Charles Band.
Yeah, seriously, if you're ever mad at us, it's usually because of Charles Band. It's usually Charles Band's fault. But there's a fart monster sighting at 50 minutes, and I know fucking Duke is in the back just pumping his fist like, fuck yeah!
Oh man, when Duke saw that goo on the floor, he's like, "Fucking, where's Angela? Get her in here." Okay, but they call Medusa again, and she's like, "It's me." He's like, "It's me. It's Sherman again." And she's like, "Listen, kid, I'm done. I don't want to fucking talk to you." And then the sister picks up the phone. She goes, "Hello, it's me. It's Sherman's sister." And it's like, "Oh shit, man, we should really listen to what she has to say." All right.
You know what I find strange? I find it strange that she has a French accent in Better Off Dead and not in Terrorvision.
Yeah. It's almost like she's acting and playing different characters.
Bullshit! That's bullshit! No! Okay,
Could you do a punk character for us? Yeah.
like puke me out, barf me out. Yeah, that's her favorite line. Barf me out. She plays
Heather's.
stupid
This is
so
not
well.
as far as like catchphrases go.
But there are so many of them in there that's just like they're trying to make fetch happen.
Yeah.
Stop trying to make fetch happen.
I'm gonna start making "Don't be impatient" butthole happen. That's what I'm bringing that one back.
Oh, I found my note about E.T. What O.D. says is like, oh, he's like one of those space guys, you know, from that movie that makes you cry like a butthole. And I was thinking, like, what does crying like a butthole mean? You know, like, does that mean that you have brown tears?
I was gonna say that sounds like a wet fart.
Yeah, it's chocolate rain, guys.
So that cop, who plays the cop, he's very familiar.
He didn't have tape on his mustache, so I didn't care.
Yeah. There's not an electrical tape mustache, then I forget all about the cop's existence.
Yep. This movie, all cops are bullshit without the electrical tape. Complete credibility loss.
Keeps cutting back to that alien that's on the TV. and he keeps waving his hands in front of him and being like,
Yeah.
"Earthlings, I'm telling you." But like, there was like a montage in between where they were like teaching the alien how to talk and stuff. So has that guy just been looking into the camera, waving his hands, and imploring Earth for like hours and hours at a
Yes.
time?
Yeah, that's the joke actually.
Okay, all right. Whoosh. So once it's down to just the brother and the sister, like the movie grinds to a fucking halt because I don't know who told them to do this, but like there's a 3 second pause between each of their lines. You're like, oh my god, he killed OD. What are we gonna do?
Yeah. I'm sure that was intentional, just strictly because if Charles Band's the executive producer of anything, I feel like he's like, yeah, yeah, do that.
I'm looking on the IMDb page, and it seems like they had a way higher expectation of the budget for this movie based on who they originally wanted to cast for a lot of this. Because it says that the woman who played the mom was originally supposed to play Medusa. Instead of Beef, it was supposed to be Harry Shearer that played the father from like fucking Spinal Tap and shit.
Oh man,
And they wanted Belinda Carlisle to play Susie.
yeah, I can see that though. That makes absolute sense.
And also they wanted Frank Zappa to do the musical score.
Whoa,
That-
whoa.
High hopes for this one.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, that's a lot of expectations for a movie that ended up being a whole bunch of nobodies, and the chick from Better Off Dead.
Yeah, I was about to say Diane Franklin. Hey, come on. She was in a movie with John Cusack, so she's not a nobody.
She has like a book about her life that I have always considered picking up, because she was in it was like a book about being in like 4 or 5 of the most important films in the 80s, and then or like the most beloved 80s films, and then just disappearing entirely. How many more notes you got there going, Adam?
Just the one, and it's the scene where the monster breaks through the wall, and he's doing like that vacuum effect that's like trying to suck them closer to him, and they scream into the camera while a fan blows on them for a full 2.5 minutes, and I was like, fucking stop. It's so annoying, and I get that they're playing it up for comedic effect, but it was like they really towed it over the line where it was like, okay guys, this isn't funny.
Yeah,
Stop.
it's a real Family Guy type of joke right there.
This was the second time I watched it too, and it wasn't as enjoyable as the first time I watched it, just knowing what you're gonna get going in, but it's still a lot of fun. It's still an enjoyable movie. If you've never seen it before, then I absolutely say grab some blow, grab some Heine, get your swinger friends together.
Should we talk about the ending of this movie, or should we at least say, if you haven't seen it, enjoy the really ridiculous last like 10 minutes of this movie?
Well, we can just talk.
So basically, the movie ends with the original alien that's been broadcasting on television over and over again, showing up at the house and being like, "Look, I can fix everything. All we got to do is we got to contain the monster. We can pull some of its DNA. We can clone all of the people that it ate. They're
not clones.
They will be your parents, but they'll have to live in a fish tank."
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
The end of this movie is so dark.
Yeah.
It's great.
So, but they're like, okay, what? Susie's like, yeah. So, like, all of a sudden, everything seems fine until fucking Medusa rolls in, sees the alien that's trying to help them, and panics and shatters his glass that was protecting him from dying from the Earth's atmosphere. So his head fucking explodes.
Yes, we got a head explosion.
And then the monster comes and mutates with Medusa. And the movie ends with like a half alien, half Medusa getting into the car, being like, "Come on, come on, come on!" as they're about to like take her back to the studio. That's my impression of Medusa.
That's spot on, my friend.
Yeah, and fucking make it snappy too.
But that is Terrorvision. So did you guys watch anything this week?
Yeah. I started watching something on Netflix. I started watching the original Twilight Zone series, which that's so cool that they have all the original Twilight Zones on Netflix, because I can just watch them at my leisure.
So
it's fun.
Can I tell you a little warning about Twilight Zone? As a person who loves the Twilight Zone, and as a person who has binged the entire series on multiple occasions.
Most of them are crap.
No, it's not even that most of them are crap. That would be an incorrect statement. The problem is, most of them reuse the exact same twist over and over and over again. So you're definitely going to want to space that shit out because you're going to see like 4 or 5 in a row where the ending is like, it was Earth all along. Like, that's just always the twist for some reason. But there's some really, like, having watched The Twilight Zone as many times as I have, like, there's really good scary ones. I still think Eye of the Beholder, in particular, is like one of the best short horror segments ever made.
Yeah.
Yeah!
I watched, you guys are going to love this. I watched The Last Witch Hunter with Vin Diesel.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know about that
What?
movie, Matt? Come on, man.
What?
Yeah, the smash breakout hit of The Last Witch Hunter. I'm sure there'll be many sequels, so don't worry. It was horrendous. It was bad in all aspects of everything it tried to do. It's about Vin Diesel being a 700-year-old witch killing guy who works for like a secret order of people that kill witches. Yeah, if you, I watched it maybe 3 days ago, but if you ask me how it ended, I have no fucking idea. I really don't remember. But it had like Vin Diesel, Michael Caine, and Elijah Wood in this movie. I don't know who put guns to those three people's heads to do this, but man, it was fucking bad. It's real bad.
Whatever bank owns the mortgage to their houses.
Yeah, exactly. Look, you want to be on the fucking street, Elijah Wood? Well, come on, put on this priest outfit. We got a movie for you.
Yeah. We know that you're not drowning in movie offers after doing the Maniac remake.
Yeah, well, I mean,
he produced the Maniac remake, though.
He's producing a lot of weird shit.
Yeah,
I love Elijah Wood, but he's definitely not swimming in cash right now.
Yeah, I mean, he used all of his. I'm pretty sure he's got to be swimming in cash. He was in the Lord of the Rings. Like, I'm sure the residuals of that.
Who was he in the Rings?
Elijah Wood?
Wait, are you?
No, I'm not joking. Come on.
And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Listen, after Tusk, I mean, anything could happen.
But I was gonna say, he does own like his own horror company now that's like produces like Cooties and shit like that. But
I watched Cooties as well.
Is that worth watching? I still haven't seen it yet.
To be honest, no.
So I actually didn't get around to watching too much because there was a lot of festivities going on with 4th of July. I'm working some extra hours to get some extra scratch before I go to California. But I did participate in this weird thing on July 1st that some of you guys may have joined us in which we watched a shit ton of horror movies all day. You can follow us on Twitter and figure out all that. But I bounced out on Sleepaway Camp at midnight because I had watched it a week prior. It didn't really feel like it was necessary to watch it again.
Yeah.
But instead, my friend was hanging out with me throughout the marathon, and I found out that she had never seen the movie Mary and Max, which I think is like one of the best animated films ever made. So I had her sit down and watch that, and that's really fucking good. Really funny, really charming, sad. It's all of the things that modern kids' films have turned into. Definitely worth checking out. And I did actually bounce out into the theaters for once to see Finding Dory. And it's pretty good. I like it more than Finding Nemo, but it's far from the best Pixar film. So I'm the Adam O'Brien this week who only watched cartoons, apparently.
Feels good, man. Don't beat yourself up. Cartoons are totally okay. I mean, I'm not ever going to see Finding Dory. I think you're a huge loser for that. But, other than that, it's okay.
Hey,
totally.
Finding Dory was delightful. That was Terrorvision from 1986. We will be discussing a ton of movies in the future, as you know, but when we get those movie picks, a lot of them come from you guys when you email us at hmnpodcast@gmail.com. We are just a couple of weeks removed from our 1-year anniversary. So if you haven't gotten around to checking out the best of episode, definitely check that bad boy out. If you're not subscribing to us on SoundCloud, hit us up at soundcloud.com/horror movie night. And you can follow us on Twitter at HMN Podcast. That is mostly Adam over there, but he is absolutely killing it, as always, on Twitter. And don't forget to also check out Fucking Duke, which is Scott. I don't know how often Scott's been tweeting since the marathon, but...
I do what I can. I do what I can, eh?
Hey, I'm fucking tweeting over here.
We're still trying to decide if we are going to do a Patreon or if we're going to do an Indiegogo, and we're still very open to any of your guys' insights and opinions. If we do anything, it probably won't even be until September, October. But we appreciate the insight that we have gotten so far. But more importantly, let's remind you to please send us an email, hmnpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know how you feel about the show. Give us movie suggestions. Or, like I said, you don't even have to give us movie suggestions. Just write an email. We'll read it. We don't care. And be sure to keep rating and reviewing us on iTunes. I saw that we got a new review recently, and we super appreciate it. Thank you guys for everything that you do for us, and tune in next week for more. Here we go. Let me see if I can get my voice ready for this one.
Oh, found our bumper.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.